they call me. Promise that you never be lonely. Be the fam, that's what they call me.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl T Michelle back here with another video. Y'all, it is hotter than Satan's coochie outside. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, listen, I know that I'm in Georgia, okay? I know that I'm in Georgia, y'all, but in the 8 years that I've been here, dead ass, I don't remember it ever being this hot and this freaking humid. Like, this shit is ridiculous. You step outside and instantly you just start to die. So, in light of that, I decided to hit y'all with a video today because I'm not going outside. I thought I was, but I'm not going outside. Fuck that. Like, the world can kiss my ass today. Like, no. Alright, y'all. So, today, I'm going to hit you with another episode of... I ain't hit y'all with an episode of this in a while. Let me put you on. Cause I ain't been putting y'all on. I ain't been doing my job. I ain't been putting y'all on to no shit. Like, I ain't been educating y'all like I'm supposed to be educating y'all. So listen, y'all. I fixed my time machine. In fact, no, I ain't fixed it. I went and I got a brand new one, y'all. Cause we in the year 2023. We in a new house. You know, this is a new year. This is a new us. So I went and I got me a new time machine, y'all. So y'all go ahead. It's still gonna take off like the old one, but just pretend that it's a new one, alright? Alright, y'all. So we are in the year of 1981. Alright, y'all. So 1981, that's the year that Princess Diana and Prince Charles got married. And that nigga was on some fuck shit and ended up cheating with the wife that he's with right now, who became... What is she? What is she, y'all? She's a queen, but she not the queen, some shit like that. But that's the only reason why, like, she's into royalty, because under any other circumstances she would not be in royalty. Miss Camille, I had to tell you, I'm sure that you know, but you fucked your way to the top, sis. Okay, excuse me. I hope London don't come after you. Let me stop, because the queen. People had said some shit about the queen and had they whole shit shut down. So let me shut up. Nah, Camille, you go ahead, girl. Get your man, girl. I don't mean that, Camille. Pope John Paul II was an attempted assassination on him. Some man, I forgot his name. I'll put it in the thingamajiggy, y'all. The man's name. That attempted assassination was made on the Pope or whatever. He never even said why he did it. Like, why he wanted to kill the Pope. He just did it, right? And the Pope, being the Pope forgave him for that. What else had happened? Oh, MTV was launched. White people TV was launched, because that's what that shit was. Until Michael Jackson came along. Y'all know that's what it was. That fucking MTV was nothing but white people music until Michael Jackson had came out with Thriller, and then all of a sudden it was black people on that channel. Unfortunately, that's the year that Bob Marley passed away. Bob Marley passed away of lymphatic cancer on May 11th, 1981. Do y'all realize how young Bob Marley was? I just turned 37. He was 36 when he died. Like, I think people forget that, because it don't seem like that. It don't seem like, you know, his life was short like that. But he was real young, y'all. And, of course, this thing that we have grown to, well, some of us, this thing that we have all grown to love and appreciate, hip-hop, was coming into mainstream. You had, the Sugar Hill Gang dropped their album. You had Curtis Blow drop his album. Kool Herc was putting out tapes and stuff like that. You know, Kool Herc is the founder of hip hop. So yeah, that's what was going on in 1981. But something else happened in 1981, y'all. A little boy named Adam Walsh was kidnapped in 1981. So let me take y'all to the facts of this case. Now, y'all have to think, in 1981, there was no Amber Alert. Y'all know how we all get if a child goes missing or a child gets abducted, it's like Amber Alerts that go out. And in 1981, there wasn't no Amber Alerts. And the Amber Alert didn't come out until, I think, 1996, when that little girl Amber was abducted, and they invented this system to help find missing children. But back then, it was not a thing, y'all. So if your child went missing, all you could do was call the cops. So July 27th, Adam and his mother went to Sears department store. Do y'all remember Sears? I don't think Sears is around anymore. I think they shut them down. They either shut them down or they turned some of them into Marshalls. But I know my mom used to take me to Sears all the fucking time, because they was always having sales. So, him and his mother went to Sears in Hollywood, Florida. They lived in Hollywood, Florida. His mother, Reve Walsh. I think her name is Reve. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Reve. Right? Went to Sears because she had saw that there was a sale on a lamp. So they're going to Sears, and Adam sees the little kiosk for video games. Back then, it was Atari. Atari, every little boy wanted an Atari. An Atari, I think 2600 game system. There was a kiosk in Sears where all these boys were lined up, taking turns on the Atari. So he said, you know, he's a little boy. He wanted to play the game. He wanted a chance to play the game. So his mom was like, okay, you stay right here and play the game. Wait for your turn to play the game or whatever. Don't move from this spot. Stay right here. And I'm gonna go check on this lamp, and then I'm gonna come back and get you. I'm gonna go see if they got this lamp, and I'm gonna come back and get you from over here. So she leaves him there. She leaves him by the kiosk. She goes to the lamp section of the store. The store doesn't have the lamp. The lamp is out of stock. It's sold out. So she's like, all right. She walks back to the kiosk where all the boys are. Well, all the boys were. Because when she came back, all the boys were gone, including Adam. So she's like, well, what the fuck? Where's my son? She walking around. Maybe he's, wandering around looking for me, Even though I told him to stay right here, but maybe he's walking around, looking. She don't see him. So she goes to the security guard and she's like, have you seen a little boy, about 6 years old? He was standing here playing the video games. And the security guard is like, oh yeah, I made those boys leave because they started fighting over whose turn it was to play the video game. So she's like, you made them leave? Well, where did they go? And he's like, oh, they went outside. So she goes outside. She don't see Adam. Adam is nowhere to be found. And the boys wasn't there neither, I'm guessing. But she didn't see him. Bottom line, she didn't see Adam. So she goes back in the store, and customer service, she goes to customer service. She's like, my son was here. I'm looking for my son. I told my son to stay right here. Security guard said that there was a fight, and he kicked all the boys. He kicked all these boys out the store, including my son. I'm looking for my son. So customer service is like, oh, don't panic. It's okay. Does he know his name? Does he know what your car looks like? Does he know his address? Like, she's like, yes, but, I'm looking for my son. So they're like, don't worry, we're going to page him. So they page him over the loudspeaker. Adam, this is your mother. Find a security guard. They said that Adam was very shy. That he was a very shy child. And he would be too shy to speak to a security guard. So she's, on the loudspeaker, she's like, just find a security guard and tell them that to take you to your mommy and I'll come and get you. Nobody sees Adam. Y'all, they looked for this boy for 90 minutes in that store. Paged him over a dozen times. 90 minutes before they actually called the police. So Reve calls Adam's father, John Walsh, and they finally call the police. So, of course, you know, she's feeling guilty, his mother, because she's like, if I never went to go look for that stupid ass fucking lamp, I never would have lost my son, you know. But the police are still like hopeful. The police are still like, you know, I'm sure he's fine. You know, he probably just wandered off. He's probably just lost. I'm sure we'll find him in the next 24 hours. There's no problem. You know, go home and wait. They were basically telling them not to worry and not to worry about it, that they would find him. But y'all, a week went by, nothing. They didn't find nothing. 2 weeks it's coming up to 2 weeks, nothing. So, August 10th, they had sent a search party out for him too. Like, there was people in the county that were looking for him. So, August 10th, one of the searchers is searching around like a bank. Like a bank. You know, one of those. Y'all seen on like near the highway, they have those banks or whatever like that. So one of the searchers is searching and finds a little boy's head. They don't say that it's Adam. They just found a head. A severed head. So the police tell his parents, like, we found a severed head in this place. We don't know if it's him, but it might be him. But of course, you know, as parents, you don't want to hear that shit. Like, even if you know it's a strong possibility, you don't want to hear that shit. So even though the police were telling them, like, you know, we found a severed head of a little boy, don't know if it's your son, but it's a good possibility that it's your son, they still weren't like believing that that was Adam. So they go on TV. They go on TV and give I don't know if it was a press conference or a news, I don't know what it was, y'all, but they went and they basically offered $100,000 to whoever returns him safely. Like, please, they offer a $100,000 reward for his safe return. But y'all, the coroner came and did their little test or whatever it is that they do, and they confirmed that it was Adam.
Pictures of the smiling boy with a missing front tooth were everywhere on posters offering a $100,000 reward for his safe return. 2 weeks of fruitless searching ended late Monday. 2 fishermen found the remains of Adam Walsh's skull in this canal near Vero Beach, more than 100 miles north of his Hollywood home. Positive identification was made through dental records. Adam's parents, John and Reve Walsh, returned home late last night. They had wished to meet with the press one last time.
I don't know who would do this to a 6-year-old child. I can't conceive of it. It's beyond the realm of reality.
But Adam evidently was too good for this world. He was much greater than this world. And he didn't deserve to live in this world. He's too good, and you know that only the good die young. Thank you.
Y'all, they never found the rest of this little boy's body. They only found his head. So, now, of course, naturally, it's like, well, what the fuck happened? We need to find out what the hell happened. So, from the jump, Reve and John are like, the police are on some fuck shit. They fucking this shit up. Like, they've been fucking this shit up from the start. They fucked up with the missing investigation when he was just missing. But now they investigating a murder, and we feel like they fucking up with the murder. Why? I'm gonna tell y'all why. So, eventually, they had a suspect, a man named Otis Toole, and he was a drifter, a known drifter. I don't know where they found this man and how they found out that it was him or whatever like that. But anyway, this was the man that they said did it. And he confessed. When they brought him in, he confessed to doing it, but then he recanted and said that he didn't do anything. So, this is what he said. And I'm going to tell y'all. This is what he said when he admitted that yeah, it was me. I killed him. I kidnapped him, and I killed him. So he said that he saw Adam outside the mall and lured him into his Cadillac by telling him, I got toys and I got candy. I know, y'all. That's one of the things as a little girl. And it could have been because I came up in the 80s. Like most of y'all probably came up in the 80s. And there was a lot of kidnappings going on in the 80s. And that's one thing I always remember my mother and my father always telling me, don't go with nobody. Like somebody say that they got candy, if they got toys, even if somebody says, like my father used to always say this. My father used to say, if somebody comes to you and they say, I know your father, I'm going to bring you to your father, ask them what your grandmother's maiden name is. That's what he used to tell me to do. He used to be like, if anybody comes to you and says to you, I know your father, and I'm going to take you to your father. Your father wants you. He's like, ask them what your grandmother's maiden name is. Because anybody that knows this family knows your grandmother's maiden name. That's what he used to tell me. But y'all, I'm not going to say that they was bad parents or maybe they never taught him that. Because I'm positive that they probably told him, don't ever talk to strangers. But, I mean, kids are going to be kids. So he said that he lured Adam to his Cadillac by telling him that he got toys and candy for him. They get in the car and he starts driving. But he said when Adam noticed, like, okay, maybe this wasn't a good idea. I shouldn't have gotten in the car with this man because now we driving and I don't know where we're going. He said that Adam started to panic and he started to scream and he started to cry. So he said that he punched him in his face. Of course he didn't stop crying. But I don't know why this man figured, if I punch him in his face, he's going to stop crying. He didn't stop crying. He started crying more. So he beat him more. He beat him until he was unconscious. Then he drove out to a deserted area somewhere. Whatever highway that is, y'all, that connects Florida to everything else. Whatever, y'all know. If you from Florida, you know what highway I'm talking about. But he drove along that highway into a deserted area and realized that Adam was alive. Like, that he was breathing. He was still breathing. So he strangled him with the seatbelt. This is what this man is confessing to the police. He strangled him with the seatbelt. Then, in that same deserted area, went and chopped off his head with a machete. Chopped off this boy's head with a machete and incinerated the rest of his body in a refrigerator somewhere in Jacksonville. That's what he told the cops. Then he recanted the whole thing and said he didn't do nothing. Now, mind you, this dude, Otis Toole, he confessed to killing a whole bunch of people, y'all. He confessed to killing 500 people. That's how much people he said he killed. Him and another guy, another drifter who also became a very well-known serial killer, Henry Lee Lucas. Henry Lee Lucas became known as the Confessions Killer. Why was he called the Confessions Killer? Because this motherfucker used to confess to killing people and then recant. Now, Henry Lee Lewis was convicted of killing his mother. This man killed his own mother in 1960. Yeah, he killed his mother in 1960 and then 2 other people in 1983. But he was known for falsely confessing to killing 600 people. That was not true. I think he was a sociopath. Like, them people that just be saying something like somebody that we know that recently just happened. People that lie for attention. I ain't gonna say her name. I'm gonna just say her name in my What's Really Good video. But y'all know who I'm talking about. People that lie to get attention. But yeah, one of those people. So that's what he basically said. But then the cops figured out that he was lying. That he was lying, and because there was no evidence, so he figured out he was lying. The oldest tool, there was a whole bunch of evidence, y'all. Like I said, they had his car. The car had blood in it, but the blood couldn't be identified at first. There was a carpet in the car with blood on it. They lost that carpet, y'all. They lost the carpet. I'm not done. This is what Reve and John were talking about, how they botched the whole investigation, how the cops completely botched the entire investigation. They claimed that, like, when they first reported Adam missing, that the cops didn't move on it right away. I told y'all, they was just, like, on some shit like, oh, he's probably just lost, but he'll come home, and, you know, it's no big deal. Like, they weren't really going in because they really thought that he was lost and that he was going to find his way back home. A 6-year-old. I don't know, but that's what the Walshes was saying. But then, when it was finally confirmed that he was dead, they had the man's car with the blood in it, the blood-stained carpet. They had the machete that he used to decapitate him. And y'all, they lost all that. They lost all of it. They lost the car. How do you lose a car in the middle of a murder investigation? As a police officer, as a cop, as a detective, how do you lose a whole car? They lost the whole car, y'all, so there was no evidence. No evidence to prove that this man did this, except him saying, yeah, I did it. No, I didn't do it. Yeah, I did it. Nah, I didn't do it. Nah, I didn't do it. So, people that were around the mall that day admitted to seeing Tool there, to seeing Otis Tool there. They saw him, and they saw the Cadillac. So to detectives, it was like, okay, case closed. This man did it. Plus, he confessed to doing it. But I want y'all to know that he was never convicted of killing Adam. He was convicted of killing other people. I think he killed 11 people, but he was never convicted of killing Adam. So y'all, that was basically it as far as the story goes. That's basically what happened. So we can go ahead back to present time so that I can tell y'all about the aftermath of what happened. Let's go. So yeah, y'all, something else crazy had happened in the midst of this man confessing that he did this and then recanting everything that he was saying. So y'all remember Dahmer, right? Dahmer that was going around eating people and decapitating people and putting people's heads in freezers and stuff like that. So y'all know that Dahmer got arrested in 1991. That's when he officially got arrested. But he was killing people way before that. He was killing people in the 80s. So, in 1991, I believe that his father had called America's Most Wanted and told America's Most Wanted, the hotline, because America's Most Wanted started, and then they had a hotline. We're going to get into that too, because something else happened with America's Most Wanted. But he called the America's Most Wanted hotline and said that he thought that his son was a pedophile, and that his son could have possibly had something to do with Adam's murder. So the police was like, oh yeah, of course they want to cover up their bullshit and how they basically botched that entire investigation. And the only reason why they was really like, yeah, Tool did it, is because they knew that they had fucked up, that they had lost all the evidence and all type of stuff. They knew that he did it, but with him confessing and all type of stuff, that just made shit a lot easier for them, because they had fucked up. Like if it was really a thing, that whole case could have been dismissed against that man, because they didn't have no evidence against him. They ain't had no hard physical evidence against that man. Just the fact that he confessed that he did it. So when Dahmer's father had called America's Most Wanted and said, y'all might want to look into this, because I believe that my son is a pedophile and he might have killed children too. So because Dahmer was known for decapitating his victims and eating them, and the fact that his pops was like, I think he was a pedophile too, they went and was looking into Dahmer being responsible for Adam's murder. Y'all know how some people are. Some people hear some shit and they run with it. Then all of a sudden, all these people started coming out saying, hey, yeah, I think I seen Dahmer. I think I seen him by that mall. And I think he had a little boy with him. Now, at the time of Adam's murder, Dahmer was living in Florida. He was living in Miami Beach. Well, he was working on Miami Beach. He was working for a delivery company, and he drove a blue van for that delivery company. Then all of a sudden you had people saying, yeah, I seen that delivery van outside of Sears. So now they were investigating Dahmer for Adam's murder. In 1992, after his arrest, right, and before he was murdered in jail, Dahmer did an interview, and the interviewer asked him, you know, did you kill Adam Walsh? Some people are saying that you're responsible for the death of Adam Walsh. Did you do that? Dahmer was like, listen, I have confessed to everything that I did. I done told you how I set people up. I done told you how I drugged them, how I drugged a lot of them. I done gave you step by step how I did the shit that I did. I done told you how I kept body parts. I done told you how I ate people to keep them with me because I felt like I wanted them a part of me. I done told you all that. I done confessed to all that, and I ain't never lied about it. Why wouldn't I confess to this if I did that? If I honestly did that, why wouldn't I confess to that? That I killed that little boy. He said, I ain't killed that little boy. I ain't have nothing to do with that. And then Adam's father, John, even said, I don't think he killed my son. I know who killed my son. This dude over here killed my son. The one that confessed to it killed my son. And they stopped looking at Dahmer. And then, you know, as y'all know, Dahmer got killed in jail or whatever for killing all those people. But mainly because the person that killed him believed that he was a pedophile. You know, I think it was more so of that. So that's just a little interesting fact for y'all, that Dahmer, they was looking at Dahmer for the murder of Adam Walsh. All right, y'all, let's talk about the aftermath. Now, throughout all of this, Reve and John became advocates for missing children. They started to do a lot of work with different organizations, a lot of nonprofit organizations and stuff like that looked into missing children or whatever. And Adam's father, if y'all ever watched America's Most Wanted, that white guy with the white hair and all type of stuff like that, John Walsh, that's Adam's father. He became the host of America's Most Wanted. Otis died in September 1996. He died of cirrhosis of the liver. And on his deathbed, his niece said that he confessed again to killing Adam. But I told y'all that man was never convicted. He was never in jail for Adam's murder. He never got convicted for Adam's murder. But he died in prison. He did die in prison. As I told y'all, Adam's father, John Walsh, became the host of America's Most Wanted. And then another show, I'll put it down, the other show that he was a part of. In 1983, y'all, a movie came out. A movie came out called Adam, about the whole case and everything that happened and all type of stuff like that. At the end of that movie, and that movie got a lot of ratings. Like, so many people tuned in to watch that movie because they wanted to see what happened. At the end of that movie, there were pictures of missing children. I believe 55 of them are missing children. Now, y'all want to hear some crazy shit? Y'all know Busy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. He was at the end of that movie. Busy Bone had got abducted by his stepfather and stolen from his mother by his stepfather. Him and his sister, I believe. And somebody saw that movie and saw him at the end of that movie and called America's Most Wanted and was able to get him back from his stepfather. Ain't that some crazy shit?
In the first broadcast of Adam, we showed you pictures of 55 missing children. Some of them have been found because of you.
In 1983, 7-year-old Brian McCain was one of the dozens of missing children whose pictures were shown at the end of the made-for-TV movie about Adam Walsh. Because someone in Oklahoma recognized his picture that night, Brian and his 2 sisters were rescued and returned to their mother. This is Brian McCain today. He's known worldwide as Busy Bone, core member of the multi-platinum, Grammy Award-winning group Bone Thugs and Harmony.
So yeah, y'all. On July 25th, 2006. The Congress passed the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act, and on July 27th, which was the day he was actually kidnapped, of 2006, President Bush signed it and had signed the bill, and it created, what it did was it made a national database of pedophiles. Like, y'all see how they be having the registry now? How there's like a registry. If you a pedophile, you gotta register and say, I'm a pedophile and I'm living in this area with his children and stuff, and everybody know that you a pedophile. That's what that was. That's when that started. Then, after that, they also created RICO causes of action for children predators and people that help them be predators, people that conspire with them. They created that. Then, in 2016, there was the Adam Walsh Reauthorization Act, which had created budgets for all these different organizations to get money to keep doing what they're doing. And President Obama signed that and put that into action October 7th, 2016. So yeah, y'all, I mean, it's a sad story, but because, like I said, y'all, they never found the rest of his body, and the dude that actually killed him, or the dude that actually confessed to killing him, never was actually charged in killing him. But a whole bunch of missing children, y'all, like I said, Busy Bone was one of them that was found because of that movie that came out. A whole bunch of other children were found because of America's Most Wanted, because a lot of people knew John Walsh. A lot of people knew who John Walsh was, and they knew that he was somebody not just like on here doing shit to be doing shit for money. Like, people knew, like, nah, this dude actually, his son actually got kidnapped and murdered. So a lot of people were down for the cause simply because of that. A lot because of him and Reve. There was a point in time where their marriage was really on the rocks because of everything that was going on. I mean, it's understandable. But there was a time where their marriage was really on the rocks, and they were looking into getting a divorce. He had confessed that he had cheated on her. She had confessed to cheating on him at one point in time. Like, but y'all, fortunately, they're still together. They worked out all that and forgave each other for, you know, people deal with trauma in different ways. So, but they forgave each other, and they're still together to this day. Adam Walsh is still doing the advocacy for child kidnappings, for children being kidnapped. Then in 1996, y'all, the Amber Alert was created when Amber Hagerman was taken, and later she was killed too. But the Amber Alert was created. So, I mean, even though Adam wasn't saved, and as I told y'all, they never found his body, the rest of his body. I believe his parents still gave him a funeral, but I don't know if they could bury him. I don't think they could bury him because, y'all, they officially closed this case in 2008. And his head, they kept his head in the morgue until 2008. In 2008, a veteran detective, he was retired. He came and looked and sorted through all the bullshit that the police had did, all the places where the police fucked up, all the evidence that was still left, and all type of stuff. He went and investigated the whole thing, and he's the one that was like, okay, we're gonna close this case and just say, yes, that tool did it. It's enough evidence, including his confession, even though he recanted a bunch of times, there's enough evidence to say, yeah, this dude did it. So in 2008, the case was officially closed. So yeah, y'all, I mean, it's a sad story, but some good did come out of it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of kids was reunited with their family. And now, as y'all know, with the Amber Alert, with cell phones and all type of stuff, as the 90s started to roll in and 2000s and stuff like that, less and less kids were being abducted. And more kids were being found just because cell phones and all these things were created after Adam's disappearance and then his death. So yeah, y'all, that's basically it. Like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Y'all, watch y'all kids, man. Look out for your kids. Like, prep them. I mean, you can never prep for your child being kidnapped. I mean, there's only so much that you can say. Because like I said, I don't believe that they was bad parents, that they never sat him down and said, you know, don't talk to strangers, don't go nowhere with no strangers or nothing. I'm not saying that, but kids will be kids. I mean, you don't know until your kid is put into that situation. They had some shit on, I think it was ABC, y'all, that what would you do? Y'all remember that show? I don't know if it still comes on, but that What Would You Do show where they was like, testing kids, like they was asking parents, like, can we test your kid, like put your kid over here by themselves and see if they'll go with a stranger, and mad kids went with strangers. I mean, you never know, y'all never. So like I said, that doesn't mean that they was bad parents because their son got lured or whatever like that. But yeah, y'all, hope you like this video, y'all. I love y'all so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will be back with another one at another time, y'all. Peace.